Ripple ran, not from a person, but from a truth he had just stumbled into, sharp, cold, and paralyzing. He had overheard a phone call his father tried to keep private. A doctor. A word that changed everything. Terminal. His breath hitched in his throat. His hands were shaking. His heart thumped like a war drum. Ripple's ears rang with confusion. He had never seen his father cry, never seen him sick. And yet, behind the bedroom door, he had just heard his father talking to a doctor about hiding an illness. Ripple sprinted through the hallway, past the family photos, out into the courtyard, barefoot and breathless. The sky was clear, but inside him a storm was raging. What else had his father kept from him? Minho had been a mystery ever since Ripple's mother passed 3 years ago. Her death from cancer left a silence in the house so heavy, it pressed down on Ripple's chest every day. Minho drowned himself in labor, mending boats, repairing roofs, fishing for hours in silence. He rarely spoke more than necessary, especially about his wife. Ripple hated that. He mistook the silence for apathy. He thought, doesn't he miss her? Doesn't he care like I do? At the age of 10 years, Ripple was a storm of emotions with nowhere to go. All he wanted was to understand. All he had was silence. Every morning followed a ritual. Minho would be up before the sun, already halfway to the dock when Ripple woke up. A bowl of rice, kimchi, and a soft-boiled egg waited at the table. Ripple never touched it. Some mornings he dumped it in the sink. Other times he left it untouched. Not out of rebellion, but out of pain. That meal wasn't just food, it was his father's silent attempt at love. But Ripple was too wounded to accept it. At school, he was quiet. Withdrawn. Teachers gave up. Friends kept their distance. Music in his ears became his only company. He stared out the window often, wondering what it would feel like to disappear. After class, he wandered by the sea, watching the waves slam against the rocks. Sometimes he thought the ocean looked angry, just like him. But unlike him, the ocean knew how to express it. It was a regular Tuesday when Ripple found the photo album. He had been looking for a spare charger in the storage closet when a faded leather book tumbled from a shelf. He wiped off the dust and opened it. Page after page, his parents smiled up at him. A picnic under the cherry blossoms. A fishing trip. His mother holding his tiny hand. His father kissing her forehead. Then, Minho holding a baby Ripple, eyes full of joy. Ripple clutched the album. That man in the photos looked nothing like the cold, distant man he lived with now. Tears pooled in his eyes. He closed the album with a thud. He's gone, he whispered, voice cracking. That version of him died with her. He sat there for a long time, hugging the book, aching for the past. One evening, the town was warned of strong coastal winds. Not a typhoon, but dangerous enough. As the sky turned gray and the waves roared louder, Minho sprang into action. Ripple watched through the window as his father climbed the roof, tying down loose shingles, securing the fishing boat at the pier. His shirt clung to his body, soaked in sweat and rain. Blood dripped from a gash on his palm. Ripple clenched his fists. A part of him wanted to rush out and help. Another part refused to care. Lightning split the sky. Thunder boomed so close it shook the window. But the loudest storm was inside Ripple. The next morning, Minho didn't wake up for work. His face was pale, his body burning with fever. Ripple panicked. He brought cold towels, made porridge, sat beside his father trembling. That's when he saw it. A piece of paper sticking out of a drawer. A letter. To my son, Ripple. Just 5 words, but they knocked the wind out of him. His hands shook as he held the paper, his tears blurring the ink. He didn't read further. He wasn't ready. Not yet. Ripple rushed to the docks. He needed medicine. Answers. Something. Mr. Bay, the old fisherman, handed him herbal remedies. Your father, he said gently, hasn't taken a day off in years. Ripple nodded, eyes down. He stayed by your mother's side till the end. Quit a big city job to come home and care for her. Never left her for a second. Ripple looked up, stunned. Mr. Bay continued, he doesn't say much, but everything he does, it's for you. Ripple stood frozen, guilt and sorrow crashing over him like waves. That night, Ripple opened the workshop door. The smell of salt, sawdust, and varnish filled the air. Carvings lined the walls, waves, birds, ships. In a quiet corner sat a wooden sculpture of a woman holding a baby. His mother. And him. Ripple's breath caught. Behind it, he found a journal. Page after page, filled with letters. To Ripple. Birthday messages. Regrets. Love. Stories about his mother. Promises. Prayers. Every word bled love, the kind his father never said, but always felt. Ripple pressed the journal to his chest, weeping. Ripple sat by his father's bedside. You wrote to me, every year. Minho's eyes fluttered open. Weak. Surprised. I didn't know if you'd want them, he whispered. I thought, I failed you. Ripple gripped his father's hand. You didn't fail. I just didn't know how to reach you. Their eyes met. Years of pain dissolved in that moment. They didn't say much more. They didn't need to. Ripple began waking early. He joined Minho at the docks. Slowly, they rebuilt their routine, together. They fixed nets, caught fish, shared silences that now felt warm. Together, they built a boat. On the last day, Minho handed Ripple the carving knife. Name her, he said. Ripple read the word. Ripple. On the knife Minho smiled, eyes soft. Because even small waves leave a mark. Days passed, Ripple grown up and his anger slowly melted away. He began to see his father, Minho, not as a distant stranger, but as a man who loved deeply, even if he struggled to show it. One morning, Ripple woke up early and found Minho already working by the shore, repairing fishing nets as he always did. Ripple didn't turn away. Instead, he joined him, handing tools, sharing quiet smiles. Minho looked up, surprised but happy. I'm sorry for pushing you away, Ripple said softly. I didn't understand before, but I see now. You've always been here, trying your best for me. Minho's eyes filled with tears. Tears he had held back for years. I did it for you, Minho replied. Even when I was afraid, even when I was tired. I never stopped loving you. From that day forward, Ripple and Minho rebuilt their bond. Not through words alone, but through shared moments, small kindnesses, and a deep, unspoken understanding. Ripple began to help more at the workshop, learning the craft his father loved. Together, they fixed boats, mended roofs, and prepared meals, simple acts that carried the weight of love. The community noticed the change. The quiet house became warm again, filled with laughter and stories. Ripple realized that love doesn't always shout. Sometimes, it whispers in every little thing a parent does, in the work, the sacrifice, the silent care. He smiled, grateful for the father who never gave up on him, and ready to face the future, together. Thank you for watching the video all the way through. If you like the video, leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more content like this.